Frienn!
Welcome to the Hey Frienn Podcast. This is my friend Paunisha.
And this is my friend Tanisha, and this is where it gets real.
So today, y'all, we have a guest, Miss Natalya.
Hey, y'all. I'm so excited.
We're
Yes.
excited to have you.
We-
So, y'all, what we sipping on today?
Today, we have, this is a pineapple ginger refresher.
Real cute.
So, it has pineapple juice, ginger beer, lime, and I have a lime wedge, and pineapple leaves as the garnish today. So,
Oh,
yes.
you been doing your big one.
Cheers. Is it?
Okay.
Oh.
It's probably the ginger beer at the top.
Not at mine. It's very refreshing.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I should have bought the straws.
Yeah, to get the bottom of
Yeah.
Like, I'm just tasting
Ginger beer.
But I didn't know. Ginger beer is not that bad.
I actually really, really like. I will
Me
drink
too.
a ginger
You love
beer.
ginger beer?
All day. All day.
I love
Really?
it.
I don't think I ever had a ginger beer.
And you like
I
ginger.
love ginger.
I'm
I'm gonna have to buy me a ginger beer. But this is good. It's definitely refreshing. It's light.
yeah.
It's airy.
You can sell this for sure.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all, it's a mocktail.
Mhm.
My girl been doing her big one on the mocktails.
You don't always have to have alcohol in order for.
I'm gonna have to get me a straw at the car.
Yeah, for sure.
So mad I did not. I forgot.
it's okay.
straws.
Next time, girl. It's still doing the job.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our guest, the fabulous Miss Natalya, who actually owns the studio that we're filming in.
So give it
Yes.
up for Studio 7.
Y'all make the studio look good too, so don't take nothing away from
Oh,
me.
thank you, thank you. They're always in the comments like, we love the aesthetics, we love the vibes. We love yes, we always gotta tag you.
So cute.
Thank you.
So excuse me, Natalya is actually a retired hairstylist. She was doing hair for about 16 years. And then she retired. Now she is a multifaceted entrepreneur. She's a devoted mother and influencer figure in the community. She also flips houses. She's a guest speaker. She also is on a talk show called POV, Point of View, on Afro TV. And also, she runs the studio.
The studio run me.
She also has a digital campaign, basically, or influencing program rather, where she helps influencers and she helps people like get their followers up, how you can get audience, get people to your page. So she has an academy for that. You do a lot.
Yeah, girl. You're a mom.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I also recently started a sober living home called Clean Heart Communities. And so I've got a course. I got a course around that. Honestly, God is just moving.
He is so good.
We all wear a lot of hats,
Yes.
but I feel like every day He's giving me a new hat, and as long as I ain't the Mad Hatter, I'm fine.
That is so, so good. We just want to give you your flowers today
Thank
because
you.
we know that you are a power force in
Thank
our community,
you.
and you've been doing your big one.
Thank you.
We had the prayer board vision party. I also had a vision party where you spoke, and it changed lives. I mean, my girls are talking about fasting. Okay, that is what they're on. You have inspired them, so I just want to say thank you.
No, thank you.
And thank you for being on our show for sure.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk about you being a hairstylist, girl. How was that? How was the transition? What made you do the transition?
Yes,
Let's
like
talk
after
about it, 'cause you
16
And the
years.
community was like, hold on. What is she doing?
Even now, I still get at least like a call once a week. Once a week they're hitting me up. Please, can you do my birthday coming up? And honestly, I still I miss it because I love it, and I do believe that it was a calling of mine. And I truly thank God for that opportunity. Now I feel like because I'm not doing hair, I'm doing my hair too much. I need to do somebody's hair. But what I do want to say is, as blessed as a run as that was, I'm actually speaking at a beauty conference tomorrow that I'm so excited about, and just to kind of also empower entrepreneurs and hairstylists, beauty professionals about the call after, being a service provider. And realistically, if you're walking this out faith-based, there's always a service for us to provide. So I'm excited, but I miss doing hair, y'all.
Really?
I do. I miss it. I don't want to go back, but I miss my clients.
What if you like teach a class or something once in a while?
I want to do that, but honestly, like even sitting down with you guys right now is so fulfilling because this is what I miss about doing hair. I miss that girl talk, that real banter, that conversation, being able to bare your soul, talk about real things, make deep connections. And so that's what I miss about hair. But now we see God is bringing us all so many opportunities where we can, speak and touch people in so many other walks of life where it's just like, now I'm not stuck just to someone who can afford the service.
Right. Yeah. So at what point did you realize, like, it's time for me to step from behind the chair and step away? Because
hard.
To me,
I don't know how you did that. I was like, whoa.
When you announced you was retiring, I was like, you never really see people like actually do it. Like never really announce that they're retiring. It's like, people retire from a job
and keep saying it. I'm gonna
retire.
And then they'll go back.
Yeah.
Like you did it.
You actually retired from doing hair. Most people like, I got a 9-to-5, I got my 401k. At what point, it's like, okay, I'm 55 now, I can go ahead and retire.
Yeah.
At what point did you realize, like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna step from behind the chair and I'm gonna start doing other things.
What it was really an act of faith and stepping out on faith, because to go from making money, having a dedicated clientele for years, and you're making money every day. Like, I didn't realize until I really stepped out what I had done. I just knew that I was being obedient, but I'm like, dang, I ain't finna make no $1,500, $2,000. Literally, I'm telling you. And so even when I think about it in hindsight, I don't know like how I did it, other than the fact that it was faith. And for years, I was one of them girls for a while, up until like my last year, but right before I quit, where I was telling them, this might be your last sewing, baby. I don't know about after this, but when I stopped doing that last year, I realized that I wanted them to not have like a little sense of fear that this was their last one. So that they could enjoy what we were doing together in that moment, and instead of like I'm threatening them every time. But it was really just kind of trying to prepare them. And so what I did want to do in the last 2 years, when I knew that it was getting close to time to me to have to really stop doing hair, I wanted so bad to have like an apprentice. Like I posted a few times on social media. I'm looking for someone to like teach everything that I know, because I have been blessed to work with some really amazing older stylists coming up. My mom was a successful stylist for years. And so I just really wanted to impart that love and that hair care passion and, passion for people, how to properly deal with your clients and things like that. But what I realized is that sometimes when people were reaching out to me, they didn't have the heart. And so for me, with them not having the heart for service, it was like, nah, like I'm not going to give you all this for free and your heart isn't there. And even now, like on the outside looking in, when I look at other service providers, I be wanting to get my hair done so bad. And I have like maybe 2 or 3 people that I really like trust and know have a heart for, service. But other than that, I be looking at people, I'm like, baby, you cannot do my hair. They don't even care. Like, even the climate of the hair industry right now. And I think social media is what did it, where, so many people feel like, oh, you lucky to come to me. Because as a service provider is now an influencer and they're living this dream life. So they think on social media that they don't have the care to do hair. It's just, or to, be a makeup artist or a nail tech. They're just coming to get that money to provide for them for what they want to do on the weekend. And you can tell. And so they say all the time, why, people used to ask me, even in my salon, Talia, like, why are you never slow? Like, why are you always booked? And I'm telling them it's because, one, I have a relationship with my clients. I make them feel good about what we're doing and the fact that they're giving me their money. And so even when it's tight, they value the companionship that I offer them in these services, that even if it's come down to a con-up, baby, they can finna come get that something.
Okay.
Before
it's bigger than that.
And I'm going to pray with them and God going to give them a con-up money.
Exactly. But my mentor one time told me, like, you have to be careful who's doing your hair because they're in your mind. And my mom was a hairstylist for years, and she would use that as her ministry as well. Because you got to think about it. That person is in your head. Not only they speaking to you, they're washing your head, they talking to you, and you get in that chair, you get so vulnerable. You ever get people get in the chair, it's like a therapy session? Like, I just like, oh, girl, I told you all my business. I didn't even know.
I didn't even realize. I just came in here to get a little wash and treatment.
Because that person is in your mind. So I feel like you really got to have some discernment when you're picking your hairstylist. I know it sounds crazy, but it's true. When you're picking these people who are providing services for you, you got to keep that in mind. This is just not anybody. This is somebody in your head, in your hands, where prosperity lies. You got to think about that type of stuff. But anyway, so how do you navigate the balance between authenticity and the expectations from your audience? Because I know you got some clientele, like, baby, I need this. How you stay true to yourself?
Even when I was doing hair, I was so passionate about even the services that I provided that if someone was asking for something that I just didn't believe in, you're gonna have to trust me, baby, but it's just might not be what you want. I believe.
Not my specialty.
But
I try.
And not even that is not my specialty, but like I have to love the product that I'm putting out. You know what I'm saying? So I have to flip it in a way, and I pray, and 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, they loved it as well. But I just feel like even in that, there is a level of discernment where a lot of times people come to you even for beauty services, and they have this image that they've seen in a magazine or on social media of how they want to look. And, you know, that's one of the things that you learn in hair school, face shape, structures, you know, the proper cuts and styles for, you know, different face structures. And so it's just kind of like, even on that aspect, like, you think you want to bang, baby, but you don't got a bang face. You know what I'm saying? And so that now has, it now shows up even in everything else that God has me doing. Because even on the show that I do on Afro TV, like, God is really, you know, speaking to me now in my secret place, where it's like, even though people have these expectations of what I'm supposed to do or what I'm supposed to say, I have to be true to the call that God has on my life. And so it may hopefully look a little bit like what maybe the producer is expecting, or, you know, someone on social media, or even someone in my family, a friend. But what I have to be true to is that it looks like the vision that God has given me.
Exactly.
So speaking of that too, because I've noticed you've been doing a little bit of a rebranding going on with, you know, just your page and just some of the things that I've been seeing you and noticing you doing. Even the fast, for instance, I saw that you were doing that, taking the bitters, and I was like, okay, I see a little bit of a transition that happened. How is that going? And what are you transitioning to?
So I hate to be like so cliche because I'm not a saint yet. Right? I'm not a saint, but I honestly feel like my life is in a rebrand. And so sometimes in the middle of that, it may not look exactly like I want it to, but I'm just believing that I'm gonna eventually come out to look the way that God wants me to look. And so even like, you know, I had got to a place even on social media where I thought I knew how I wanted my page to look and how I wanted to show up. And then I had got so dedicated to that if I felt to post something else, I wouldn't post it if it didn't align with the feed.
Girl, you
And then I had to realize, who are we trying to please?
Yes,
you know,
and
like,
you make you feel like you're living for Instagram.
Exactly. And so now my page, low key, I try to post quality stuff, but it's in disarray a little bit, what appears to be, but I feel good about it, you know? And so that's all that matters. And so now I'm getting to a place, even in my content, just, you know, attempting to really live a purposeful life where I've had, you know, posts that went viral. They may get millions of views, hundreds of thousands of views. But even now, if I have a post that I believe in that gets 10 views, I'm at peace. Literally, I'm like, God, oh, it did it. You know, for real, because, you know, and the Bible always talks about, like, you know, God cares about the one. Like, he leaves the 99 for the one. And so now I'm like, you know what, when I see the people that tend to be trending, or, you know, they having consistent millions of views, they are sticking to the trend. You know what I'm saying? And we know that sometimes Jesus is not trending, but that's what we have to stick to. And so now I'm like, you know what? Eventually, if God has for me to go viral, he will give me that viral content. But if he gives me something that gets 5 views, I'm fine with that, because my life is in a rebrand, and I'm just hoping and I'm believing that I'm going to look exactly how he has me to look. And if one person is touched, That's it.
Yeah. The person them 5 people who saw it,
they needed it.
Yeah.
And even when I was doing my research, because rebrand was actually our word for our community, and God changes a lot of people's names in the Bible. He was like, hey, your name ain't that no more. Like, I don't like that for you. You know what I'm saying? So when he did that, and it made me think about like ourselves when we are transitioning and how hard it is to really surrender, because what it is surrendering your own thoughts and your own ways. And sometimes this is a question for me. Sometimes I battle with that because I know God is calling me somewhere else, but I'm still battling with my own thoughts and my own ways. And I know it takes 100% of surrendering, especially God had to point me out. Even though as much as I talk about God on the show, he was like, you're afraid to talk about me. And I was like, what? I'm like, I'll talk about you all the time. Like, I always bring up the word. I always bring up God. He said, no, because when I give you a word to tell the people, you keep it. And he's like, because you don't want to come off preachy. And I was like, when I tell you, I got in my bed like, but when it comes to rebranding, and it's hard to surrender your own ways, and to me, outside looking in, right, because it always looks easier outside than in, it's hard to surrender. But for me, when I look at you, I'm like, okay, she's surrendering so easily. She did her transition
easy,
okay. Outside looking in, you know, I'm like, she did it with so much grace. So what advice would you give somebody who's in that same transition like myself, who is like, dang, like, how did you do that 360 turn? Because it's so hard to surrender and lay down.
I think for me, what kind of helps to hold me accountable is a friend of mine invited me on this. Reading the Bible, we all have the physical Bible. There was a time where whatever happened, we was dying down from the physical, Bible. Yeah. And then at a point, I was always using the Bible on my phone, but I never downloaded the app. So I would just go on Google real quick and Google the scripture. But my friend invited me to do a Bible reading with her and maybe 2 of her other friends, and it was like a Bible 365. And so the Holy Bible app breaks down, all these different books and chapters, and then after each reading for the day, which is maybe like 5 or 6 different chapters, you write like what you your interpretation of what you felt God was saying or whatever. And so the whole group can see it. And so we kind of use each other's notes to play off of what we feel like God was saying. And so shout out to Tay because God, she was obedient with that one. But I bring that up to say through going through that now, we all know about Jonah in the Bible, but just to really like go into that story as fast as it was, that's what holds me accountable to really like showing up, because I think about Jonah, and when God told Jonah to go to Nineveh, wherever it was, that he was sending him, and Jonah decided that he wanted to go somewhere else. And, he got on a boat going somewhere else, and everybody that was on that boat with Jonah was getting ready to die because, the waves were overtaking them because Jonah did not want to go where God had told him to go. He wanted to go over here first. And so that holds me accountable because I'm like, Lord, I ain't trying to die.
Okay. People on my boat now.
Exactly. And I'm not trying to cause anyone else their life. And so, Jonah was, swallowed up in the belly of the whale. He ended up coming out. He went where God had for him to go. But that is what helps me, And so we sometimes get attached to our walk and the things that we want to walk out in this natural life, and we want to show up for our kids and be there for our friends and have so much fun. But it also, I believe, creates a false comfort and lack, And so then we wake up and we look up one day and we don't have what we believe God has told us we're going to have because we decided to get on the boat and do it the way that we wanted to do. And so even like, with the interactions that I've had, with you, even meeting you, both of you guys, but I met you first, I know that was divine. And so, just knowing the power and the call that God has on you guys' life, girl, stop playing.
Long story short, it's stop playing.
It's hard.
Listen.
It's hard.
Listen, there's power in that belly. I need that to come out.
Yeah.
Okay? I love that.
There's too many lies attached to you.
That's right. That is so true. And it's so crazy because I want like everybody to know that there's lives attached to everybody.
Yes.
It's not just me. there's lives attached to every single bite. And what God said to me the other day, it was like, there's people that speak your language and you're the only person that speaks that language.
Even as a service provider, you know, and so that's what people don't understand is that's why it's also important to, you know, kind of now that we have social media to represent your business and yourself properly, because there are people that I may do hair, you may do hair the same exact way as me, same sewing, everything. But there are some people that just are attached to you, that no matter what kind of content I post, no matter what kind of special I run, they are here for you. And so, you know, even that's why I never understand people gatekeep. You know, even now, like with my sober living business, God has blessed me to, you know, just meet so many people that also have a heart for this industry. And so, you know, we're constantly talking about, some of them are a bunch of old ladies, they're so cute. But, you know, they keep saying like, you know, oh, such and such was gatekeeping or blah, blah, they wouldn't tell me this, or, you know, vice versa, or I feel something about some things that they tell me. And I'm just like, dang, you know, God has people that just can't come to my house. You know what I'm saying? That they are for you, that your walk, your struggles, your testimony, that is what is going to give them hope and, you know, for you to be able to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. They don't want to hear it from me because I don't look enough like what they went through.
Exactly. Everybody has a story, everybody has a testimony, and everybody has a community. Go get your people. So what are your goals for your brand, for yourself, for your community, for your business? What are some goals?
So honestly, and sometimes I get aggravated with myself when I hear myself talk because, and maybe, you know, God has to deal with me about that. And I think maybe it is because people love to say that, like, are you trying to be so holy? You know what I'm saying? And it's not that I'm trying to be holy. Yes, I am. That's what I'm. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be holy. I'm not there yet, but I do desire to be holy. And so with that, my honest desire for my brand, for my life, for my children is to serve God. And so I know that even though some days we fall short, that is where the true abundance is. So now, even in my businesses, as much as I want money, I know it's coming. It's not a thought of mine. So if there's days where that account for that business don't got no money, I know that if I'm doing what God has for me to do and I'm reaching out to his people as he has me to, the money comes. So all of my goals are just that I am more swiftly obedient, that when God speaks to me, I'm ready to move right then and there, and that I don't allow myself or anyone else in my life to be a hindrance for what God is calling me to do. That's all my goals.
Yes. Because I hate when people say that. Like, you know, they'll be like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden now she just so holy. And it's like,
but ain't we all supposed to be?
Isn't that the goal?
Are we supposed to be going?
Isn't that the goal? Like, just because you haven't changed or you haven't changed yet or whatever, and you have a perception of someone, that doesn't necessarily mean that that person has to stay that way. Like, you're supposed to be able. That's what I'm saying. You're supposed to move forward. You're supposed to progress. So I hate when people say that. Like I hear oftentimes, you know, whatever. Oh, she changed. The goal is to change. It's not to stay the same.
It's not to stay the same.
It's not to stay the same.
And if you haven't changed in the last couple of years, then you got some rethinking to do.
That means you're not growing.
That means you're not growing. You're not evolving.
I actually just had that conversation the other day with like a friend of mine. And she was telling me that she asked me a question a couple weeks ago, and she's like, you know, a couple weeks ago, like, this is not what you said. Like, you know, you just said something completely different a couple weeks ago. And I said, yeah. You know, my chemistry teacher, I remember in 10th grade, she had a poster on her wall, and I don't remember whose quote it was, but it said that new information has the power to change everything as you know it. And so the thing about it is that sometimes, and it's really bad with social media, because when we put things out there, and even on the show that I do, God has been dealing with that, you know, dealing with me about that as well, because it's like sometimes we want to be funny and we want to be ourselves, and so we say things that can go viral, you know, and can really be held accountable for these things. So I even said something 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, Lord, do you need me to apologize? You know, like, you know, because I'm not trying. I'm not trying to get sued. I don't really care about, you know, and that's the thing why it's so important. I know I'm going. But that's why it's so important to be led and to be obedient, because when we are allowing God to give us the words that we're saying, we don't have to worry about being canceled. And we know that if we get canceled, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he has something even greater. But if we're saying what we want to say, it can cost us more than we want to pay. But back to the conversation I was having, so she was telling me, oh, that's not what you said. And I'm like, listen, when I told you that, I had different information. Now I have new information that changed my whole perspective, and that I'm always going to give you the freedom to change your mind. Give me that freedom.
Yeah.
Don't hold me to what I said 3 weeks ago, baby, because at the end of the day, if I change my mind, my mind is changed. Like,
Baby,
come on. But you want me to stay the same because it make you feel better? Like, if I don't like that no more, I don't like it.
Exactly. I got the book. I got some knowledge.
I think what it is a lot of times too is people accepting it. It's like, wait a second. It's more of them. It's a hard thing for them to accept.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily like, oh my gosh, you change. It's now you change and now I have to accept the change.
Right.
I think that's what a lot of times
That's
it boils
really
down
what it is.
to.
And
like,
I think it was Pastor Sarah Jakes that said something like, if you on your walk and you don't get no enemies, baby, you ain't doing it right.
Oh yeah.
You ain't doing it right.
Yeah.
So
This prophet I follow too, he's out of England, Toby Orion, so awesome. He says that all the time, like, you know, when the church attack you, that's when you know you're working for God. Yeah, because when the fake Christians come at you, because right now the people that God is raising up, it don't look like none of the saints from back in the day.
We had that conversation. We were like, girl,
Crazy.
the time is now. They look like us, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Even looking at you guys and myself and some other, you know, people that I know, even on social media or know personally, like, it's so encouraging to see the people that are even attempting to honor God with their life. Like, we young, we cute.
Yeah.
Like, for real. And I think that, you know, it's so important as well, because people feel like when you choose God, you just gotta you know, yes, we want to be modest because we respect ourselves and ultimately our body is the Lord's temple. But baby, I'm not finna die.
Right.
Like, I can still do my makeup and be cute.
Y'all gonna get this look.
Yeah.
So how do you balance it all? Because it's so much for us, and you do so much, and you got some beautiful kids.
Thank you.
How do you balance love life, being a mom, being an entrepreneur, being a Christian, step into your faith? How do you balance it all?
Honestly, it's tough. Like, it's tough, but I just believe that it's worth it. And, you know, as much as I am low-key a conspiracy theorist, and I feel like the government be playing around with games. Like, something is going on.
Something's happening.
Something is going on. And so I'm even grateful in that somehow God makes the hours in the day enough. Sometimes I get up and I don't know how. Like, I don't know how I get things done. I don't know how I'm okay with the things that I can't get done. You know, like, literally. But God He works it out. And when my church that I grew up in, they had a saying that was, when my heart is right towards God, He is obligated to orchestrate the situations, circumstances, it's long, and the events of my life to bring me into the knowledge of the things I need to know and the people I need to know that are critical to the fulfillment of my purpose and destiny in life. And the thing about that is, now when I have, the plate is so full and we're wearing so many hats. When I tell you God is so strategic, God is strategy, that He be sending people. I mean, I don't know whether you testified to that at the vision board.
Yeah.
He just be sending the people.
Yeah.
And so, you know, even though they don't come and do everything, they do just enough that we don't lose our mind.
Yeah,
So,
they do something.
Yeah.
And sometimes it lies in just hope.
Yeah.
And just hope. Sometimes I wake up, I'm like, God, I trust you. I believe in you. And I just have hope that this is going to take me where I need to go.
Yeah.
And especially when it's ordained and it just flows, I know God is in it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, girl, what you got? Child, listen.
Ty is taking it in.
Yes, I'm
taking it all in.
I'm like a sponge.
Yeah, she's a sponge.
I'm like, okay, I'm listening. I'm seeing what's happening. I get it. And it's just, like I said, it's just trying to, for me, I want to say it's more so just trying to build a better relationship with God. And that's what that's what I'm working on. That's my personal goal right now. So like to hear y'all when y'all was like, oh, you gotta be obedient, I'm like, Lord, am I not listening? Like, did you say something and I didn't hear you? Like, what? I'm trying to make sure that, you know, like I'm listening and I'm taking in, you know, things that are being said and even around me, like seeing God move. Everybody who came in here today, like, talked about their goals and how God has put them in places and how things are working out is because of their faith. Yeah. So it's just like he doing what he need to do, okay?
And even more so that he has called you guys, you know, in this time to cultivate that space. And so, you know, even when we're giving people advice or we're providing a space for them, a lot of times, as much as what we say is for them, it's for us too, right? Yeah. You know, so my advice would be just make sure that the interactions and the conversations that you guys are cultivating, that you allow them to penetrate you, because it's not by chance, you know? And so, you know, even you saying that, you guys creating this space, this podcast, I know that God is blessing it. I've seen even in the time that you guys have been doing it, how much it grows. The name itself is just like, oh, I'm excited for y'all. So just step out on faith, because God gonna do it. It's already done.
Yes. So, what legacy do you want to leave behind? What do you want people to say when you're long and gone and with the Lord? What do you want people to say about you?
So as I think about that question, like, I'm giggly because I don't know if it's because I grew up like in church around a bunch of old people that all my thoughts are just like, and as I am, you know, going deeper in the word and allowing God to really, you know, work in me and through me, I want them to say, like, sometimes I play this game with myself where I'm like, you know what, if, you know, we have the King James, we have NIV, we have all these versions of the Bible, can you imagine if a version of the Bible is going to be created off of right now, off of 2025, off of our life, off of who we are? And so with that thought, my thought is, what are they going to say about me? And that calls me higher and makes me really want to try to walk it out right, because I want it to be said, Natalya loved God. She trusted God. God showed up through her. She worked miracles in the name of Jesus. She changed lives. That's what I want to be said about me. I'm past the time of, you know, all the designer things, and, you know, like, you know, and the best car and just trying to live for other people and things. I want to know that I've honored God with my living, and I want people to know that I honor God with my life.
I love that. All right, so where can we find your socials? Where can we stay connected?
On Instagram, it's Natalya's Influence. Natalya Somers, Somers on Facebook. I don't really be on there, but I need to be. So if y'all on there, connect with me. Hold me accountable. Also Natalya's Influence on TikTok. But if you haven't, if you don't already, which I'm sure most of y'all don't, because we here with Hey Frienn, follow my new sober living home, Clean Heart Communities. I'm so excited to connect with you guys. I'm so excited for this opportunity. Y'all are really like encouraging me to like start something. You know, like, everyone thinks because I do the show in the evening, they think I have a podcast, but I really would love a podcast where I could have like real talk like y'all. Like, I'm proud of y'all.
Thank you.
Even if it never happens, I'm gonna live through Hey Frienn.
Thank you for having the studio.
Thank you for being obedient and putting this together, because we love the studio, and it's where we birthed our baby. So we're so excited, and we love you so much, and thank you for just spending your time with us on the couch. Y'all, so it was real. We kept it 100 today. And y'all, this is the last episode.
Last episode for
season 3. Can't believe it. So we're going to see y'all next time for season 4. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And see y'all next one. Bye.